This week, Transport Minister John Hayes declared a war on ugliness. We at the ASI back him to the hilt, and what's more, we think we have the solution to his problem, reducing land use regulation. Most people can't understand why the UK's cities are so ugly. We're extremely rich, much richer than we were 100 years ago, and yet, compared to then, most of our cities seem drab and dingy and full of buildings that no one likes. Why is this? 1, it's the strictness of land use regulation in the UK. 2, it's the specific detail of those regulations. Strict land use regulation means that developers have to squeeze as much building into the small amount of space they are given planning permission on. They have to get as many floors out of each square foot as possible. This means you get patchy, strange developments across town where there are towers 1 minute and then smaller 2- or 3-storey buildings the next. But more important are the details of those land use regulations. You may have noticed that all new flats in London seem to have a balcony. Well, that's part of the London plan. It's required. You may also notice that very few new terrace buildings are built. That's because the London plan requires stairways to be a certain width, which that aren't consistent with the beautiful terraces of Pimlico, Islington, Bloomsbury and Greenwich. The London plan also requires all houses, not just a fraction, to have wheelchair access, and you can't have steps leading up from the street. It also requires certain width of corridors, and it also requires angles in such a way that you can't have the tight traditional streets. Now, these beautiful houses don't come at the cost of density. Inner London actually reduced its density after the war when terraces were destroyed to make way for towers. But those terraces that remain, like Rupel Street and Waterloo, are extremely valuable, and the 2 up, 2 downs there cost £1 million. In fact, places like Barcelona and Paris are much higher density than London without any towers in the centre area. We could increase density, reduce house prices, reduce rents, and make our cities much more beautiful if we simply liberalise the laws around doing so. Every study finds that the public will buy traditional houses when they're on offer and will pay more for them, pay a premium for them being created, but it's not legal to create them. So we call on John Hayes and the rest of the government to liberalise planning laws to make the UK beautiful again.